everyone, Allison from Social Wig Co. and today is all about how to properly wash your human hair wig. So the biggest tip I can tell you is always put your wig in reverse so the cap is always out. This will prevent inversion from occurring. So this wig is 1.5 years old, and as you can see there's not much inversion, which inversion is when hairs start poking through the cap. That can be really itchy and it just wears down the wig. And I promise you, if you do this, it will really preserve your wig. And the main reason why is because water pressure is really heavy. And if you did it the opposite way, you'd be pushing hair through the cap, as opposed to the opposite, where we're pushing we're pushing water through the cap and then through the hair. But because of that, we have to take more time rinsing product out. Always use cold water. And really take your time, like I said. The water has to get all the way through the cap to the hair. Especially this wig, for example, is a French drawn top or a silk top, so it's pretty padded on top. So just really take your time here and get the wig nice and wet using cold water. So there you go, that's probably pretty good. And you can always flip it on the other side and see if it's pretty wet as a check as well. And we always want to use cold water on the wigs, just better for the hair. And it locks in moisture as well. So the products I'm using today is the Goldwell Reconstruct. This wig's 1.5 years old, so I really need to add moisture. So use about a dime's worth of shampoo, and I just lather my hands like this. And for the cap, we're just going to go in downward sort of motions. With wigs, we don't want to do a lot of crazy circle movements. We just want to be pretty gentle. I think of it as basically washing a baby's head. My son is 2 now, and he still doesn't like his hair being washed. So you just go in downward motions like this. I'm going to take a little bit more. And then for the hair, we're just going to always go in downward motions, just like this. So take your time. Now, the shampoo is really for the cap. The cap is what gets dirty. The hair doesn't get too dirty unless you get food in it. But we still want to wash our wigs every 7 days on average, maybe more depending on wear and heat. Like we just had the fires here in California, so my wig is really dry, and I think it's just because the air is dry, plus it's winter, changing seasons, so I think my skin's really dry, so the hair is probably the same. So if your hair is feeling a little bit stringy or really dry, that's a sign that it needs to be washed as well. You don't always have to use the shampoo if you don't think it's dirty. You can just do a conditioner wash, which is basically just wetting the wig and going straight to the conditioner step. But we use shampoo to get rid of sweat and buildup. So products build up, pollution build up just over time. Then I just kind of bring the hair out a little bit. And then with the conditioner, I go to town. I use a lot. The main thing here is we don't want the conditioner to get into the cap. This will swell the knots over time, and you can lose hair. This cap is hand-tied, so we don't want to get conditioner up in the cap. So I just kind of hold the ends. We really want to focus on the nape and the sides of the wig, because those are the areas that kind of get really matty over time. So I'm going to add a little bit more. She's really, really dry. And then we're just going to let her sit in here for about 15 minutes. I really like this drying rack. It just prevents other product getting in the cap. You can also just drape her over like this, so the conditioner stays away from the cap as well. If you're washing her in your sink and you have a double basin. But we're just going to let her sit here for 15 minutes. This is critical. It's going to really allow the product to absorb. If your wig's feeling super, super dry, You can even let this sit overnight. Just the conditioner is really, really great for the hair. So I'm going to go ahead and just let her sit here for about 15 minutes and then I'll come back. Okay guys, so the wig has actually rested overnight. It's almost dry with the conditioner in it, so I'm going to really take my time and rinse it out with that cold water. I ended up just letting her sit overnight because it was just really stringy and dry, so I wanted to really take my time and just rehydrate her. It's really hard for a lot of my clients to let that happen because they only have one main piece, and I totally get it. You almost have to plan a day at home where you're not going to need your piece, which is the weekend, which is when people really want to look their best because they have stuff to do in the evenings or whatnot. So that's pretty rinsed out. And then just feeling this hair, it's a year and a half old. It still feels a little dry. So my kind of backup thing for moisture is Heloplex. It's a leave-in conditioner and it's a bond smoother, and this will definitely rehydrate the hair. And it actually makes the hair super relaxed. So it doesn't get frizzy at all. And I absolutely love it. It's definitely worth the money, and you only need a tiny bit. It's about a dime's worth, and I'm just gonna put that, rub it throughout the hair. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to place her on, I just move this, on a towel, and I'm just gonna wrap it up like a little burrito. I probably should have put in the leave-in conditioner after I did this. So basically we just wrap her up, and then you're just gonna go in a downward motion. Again, you just want to treat it delicately. This is a hand-tied piece, and so I don't want to loosen those knots, but I want to get a lot of the moisture out. You can actually even leave it in the towel for like 10 minutes. In general, we don't want to brush the hair or do anything to it when it's wet because hair is 75% more elastic. So the other thing I like to do when I'm just drying her, because I want to take some time, I don't want to leave her. We don't want to leave it in a towel like this for that long because we want to maintain the shape of the cap. So I'll kind of take a moment and just reflect back on the week or kind of experiences I've had with the wig. Like this past week, I took my wig off at Joann's Fabrics in front of this lady who cut in front of me. It's a long story, but she was shocked, and it was really kind of funny. So I'll just kind of reflect back, and that makes the time go by pretty quickly. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to place her on the mannequin. So I'm going to go over there so you guys can see what that looks like. Okay guys, so now I'm just going to place her on the mannequin. She's dried for about 15 minutes, so I'm going to brush the hair out. Now, human hair wigs have a tendency to really fall forward, so I like this mannequin head because I can tilt it way back. In the way that we set the hair, meaning the way the hair is combed in place, that's the way the hair is going to sit until you wet it or wash it next time. So you really want to make sure that you style it however you want the hair to go. Those of you who have human hair pieces know what I mean. If you've ever tried to change the part after it's dry, it's close to impossible. And that just has to do with how the knots were set. So if you want more volume, if you want some hairs to be forward, you need to really think about that. Always work down and then up into the wig, otherwise you're just dragging knots down, which pulls the hair as well. I really like this brush. This is a professional wig brush made out of metal prongs. It's just really simple. And I get it done pretty quickly. Otherwise, I'm sitting for hours and hours. If you can't find this, I can get one for you. Just let me know that you would like one.
But you can see it's not really pulling any of the hairs out. I have no hairs. And she's pretty naughty right now because I let her sit overnight. So again, just slowly work your way through and get that wig placed, the knots placed however you want. Okay. All right, that's pretty good. So the other thing I'm going to focus on is making sure the cap is on correctly. So the ear tab is a little too low here, so I'm going to readjust her. And I'm just going to feel around, make sure there's no hairs inside the cap. And then I'm actually going to feel the cap and make sure that there's no bumps or anything like that, because I really want the wig, the shape of the wig to be similar to this mannequin head. And I like the hair way off my face, so I pull it way back, and then I use a setting clip, and I don't have any right now because I gave some away to a client, so I'm going to use something else. But I like the setting clips because they don't snag the hair, and more importantly, they don't leave a crease. So this one's going to leave a crease in this section, so in about a couple hours I'm going to have to remove it. And that's it. If you want your baby hairs to be forward, you're going to want to brush those forward. The best thing for baby hairs is a teasing comb, and you just kind of pull those hairs down like so. And that will get those knots kind of falling forward where you have those baby hairs. That's pretty good, and that's it. All right, hope you guys like that. Stay tuned for more tips and tricks in November. It's Allison from Social Wig Co. Talk to you guys later. Bye.